And we are live. Good to be back. Good to be here. What's up? Start in a few moments. Just gonna get things set up and we'll be ready to go. Hello, welcome to the stream. Be starting very soon. Just gotta get things set up on my end and we'll be ready to go. Alright. Almost ready to go. Sorry about that. Alright, let's begin. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this week's episode of Benny and Booth Podcast. On this week's episode, we've got MLB Weekly Recap, we've got NBA Finals finished, and other NBA news, and some NFL news to go over, including some news that just happened earlier today. All that and more coming right up. Hello, everybody. What's up? Welcome back to episode 37 of Benny in the Booth Podcast. Thank you so much for your support to this point. If you are new here, subscribe down below and hit the notification bell on so you're notified when I go live or post an episode of the podcast. So I actually have a reason for starting this week's episode a bit late. I just got in from being in Chicago. I was there for a few events and actually went to a Cubs game while I was there, as they were home against the Braves Friday, and I went to the Friday game, which thankfully I went to that game instead of Sunday. I was pondering between Friday and Sunday, and I definitely went to the better game. Friday was much closer, and I'm going to get into that one. Sunday, let's just say they got blown out the river 6-0 and leave it there. But anyways, I have that. Got NBA and NFL. Outside news, there's not really much, no further updates on anything new, whether in regards to for us coming on the podcast or anything else. Other than that, pretty much just same old, same old. And let's get into this week's episode. Let's start with the NBA Finals, which came to an end last week. Golden State, when we left off, Golden State was up 3-2, looking to end it in Boston in Game 6, and they did end it in Boston, 103-90 to win the NBA Finals, 4-2 in 6 games. Stephen Curry was your MVP of the NBA Finals, putting up 34.7 rebounds, 7 assists in Game 6. Also from Game 6, at one point, Golden State went on a 21-0 run, which is the longest in the last 50 NBA Finals. Also in this game, there were multiple big runs by both teams, aside from the 21-0 run. Boston went on a 14-2 run, Warriors went on a 35-8 run, and the Celtics went on a 7-0 run. At the end of the day, though, the Warriors won in 6 games to win the Finals, which I actually got both the winner prediction correct and how long the series would go, which surprised me, which I wasn't even sure if it was going to be right after Game 1. But anyways, so my end in right team predictions, I went 16-4. In series length predictions, I went 6-10 in total throughout the playoffs. I might try to do like an NBA year in review like I did for NFL. It just might take a bit more time due to, or restat. It might be a bit harder to do being that I am working, but I may try to work on one. If you want me to, let me know in the comments or live chat. And if you have ideas of who I could bring on to do it, let me know. I'm definitely open to who to maybe try to bring on for that. But I'm definitely pondering doing one like I did for NFL, just with NBA teams. Even with how much I'm not as much as I used to be into NBA, I'm still willing to do a review and maybe even try to get a guest on for it. Other NBA news, a huge trade happened recently. The Rockets traded Christian Wood to the Mavericks for the 26th pick this year. Boban Marjanovic, Sterling Brown, Trey Burke, and Marquise Chris. Very much like one piece for a whole bunch of pieces. Something I was seeing is like Christian Wood's good, but he's only good offensively and not so much on the defensive end. And in a way, it can help, and in a way, it can. But in a way, also, here's the thing. Like, really, the NBA has been a more offensive league anyways these days. So, really, like, defense doesn't necessarily matter as much as it used to. It used to be more of a thing back in the day, and now it's like all offense, all shooting threes, and like hardly ever any defense. But that is the other NBA news that has happened recently. But it is officially off season for the NBA. The draft is actually this week. I think it's like Thursday. I want to say, yeah, it's Thursday actually. The draft order for the NBA. The first round, the Magic have the first pick, followed by the Thunder. Rockets have at 2. Rockets have the third pick. Kings have the 4th. Pistons have the 5. Pacers have the 6th. Trailblazers have the 7th. Pelicans have 8th. Spurs have 9. Wizards have 10. Knicks have 11. Thunder again at 12. Hornets at 13. Cavs at 14. Hornets again at 15. Hawks at 16. Rockets at 17. Bulls at 18. Timberwolves at 19, Spurs at 20, 21 is the Nuggets, 22 is the Grizzlies, 23 is the 76ers, 24 is the Bucks, 25 is the Spurs, 26 is the Mavericks, 27 is the Heat, 28 is the Warriors, 29 is the Grizzlies, and 30th is the Thunder. Teams without a first-round pick: Clippers, Jazz, Raptors, Nets, Suns, Lakers, and Celtics. That will be this Thursday, and starting at 8 p.m. on ESPN. I will probably cover at least definitely the full first round, who goes where, and any key picks in the second round. So that's for NBA. NFL, there was some big news. Start off with the one that actually happened today. Rob Gronkowski officially retires once again from the NFL. Whether this is an official full retirement or it's going to be another retire but come back, we'll have to wait and see. But as of right now, he has officially retired once again. And I guess we'll see what happens. But he had a heck of a career. He's definitely a Hall of Fame possibility. I was even seeing something on Twitter. He's top in tight end category, some of the top on top of some of the categories for tight ends. So we'll see what happens. And then the other NFL news: Minkah Fitzpatrick got an extension with the Steelers for 4 years, $18.4 million, with $36 million guaranteed at signing. So that's the NFL news. MLB Weekly Recap. Going back to last Tuesday, Paul Goldschmidt hit 3 home runs in a doubleheader day. Two 2-run homers and a 3-run homer versus Pittsburgh. Also in the same doubleheader, Yadier Molina now has the most putouts by a catcher in MLB history with 14,865. And in Game 2, Miles Michaelis actually carried a no-hitter into 2 outs, 1 out away in the 9th inning, but was broken on a ground rule double in the 9th inning with 1 out, which honestly, I think the play should have been made by Harrison Bader. I mean, yeah, it was over his head, but he is someone that, I would expect, with how good of a defender he is, to make those kind of plays. If you want to tell me it was Dylan Carlson or Tyler O'Neill, who's not as reliable defensively, or even Corey Dickerson, or I know Pujols hasn't played the outfield in years, but even Pujols, fine, I can understand that not being made. But Harrison Bader, not so much. But either way, the Cardinals did sweep that doubleheader last Tuesday. Wilson Contreras had a 2-homer game for the Cubs. Sad part is they blew a 5-0 lead, and the 2-homer game didn't make a difference. Ended up losing 12-5 to the Padres. They got swept by San Diego, sadly, which was just a wreck. They had a wreckful series. Marcell Ozuna and Travis d'Arnaud go back-to-back versus Washington in the 3rd. Michael Harris the 2nd, and Orlando Arcia also went back-to-back in the 6th in that game. Jacob Stallings homers for the first time since opening day and goes back-to-back with Jazz Chisholm versus Philly. Vlad Jr. now has the same homers and on-base percentage as his dad in their first 403 games in MLB, with 87 home runs and .363 on-base percentage. Gabriel Moreno had a 3-hit game versus Baltimore on last Tuesday. Astros came back from down 3-0 with a 4-run 8th, capped off by Kyle Tucker 2-run homer versus Texas. And scoreless through 9 innings, 1 run. Oh, yeah. And then the Reds Diamondbacks game, they were scoreless through 9 innings, 1 run by both in the 10th, 2 runs by each team in the 11th, and then 2-run 12th by Cincinnati helped them beat Arizona. Last Wednesday, Tyler Anderson took a no-hitter into the 9th inning for the Dodgers, and Luis Garcia is the second, and Phil Maton in the 7th, both threw immaculate innings, which, if you're not aware what that is basically an inning where you get 3 strikeouts on 9 pitches. In the same game, which is the first time ever in MLB history that that's ever happened. That's it for last Wednesday. Last Thursday, Anthony Rizzo had the game-tying RBI single in the 6th and walk-off solo home run in the 9th, and 2-1 Yankees win over the Tampa Bay Rays. Last Friday, the game I was at, Cubs-Braves, which before we get into what happened, this is the first time that two teams meet where one is on a double-digit winning streak. The Braves were on a 14-game winning streak going in. And one is on a double-digit losing streak, Cubs, with a 10-game losing streak at the end, ever. And the Cubs in the end beat the Braves 1-0 on Christopher Morel sac fly in the eighth. First time that double-digit game losing streak beat a team with double-digit game winning streak since September 15th of 1999. I learned that from the paper the next day. This game was crazy, and really you knew how Wrigley works is in general it's neutral, and what side it leans to depends on the wind. If it's blowing towards the field, which it did in this game, it's going to be pitcher's day, hardly any runs, and balls that would usually go out on a normal day are going to stay in. And there were at least 2 or 3 balls that and Acuna even had one that on a normal day are out of the ballpark that ended up just being a fly out in the outfield. And then the other hitter's day is if the wind's blowing out, which it was not on Friday. I think for the other 2 games it pretty much was, or most likely it was based on what happened in the other 2 games. The Braves took the series in the end, but the Cubs took the series 2-1. Braves won the finale. Anyways, Houston scored 10 runs in the 6th versus the White Sox to win 13-3. And Josh Bell had 3 homers in 2 games and a double in 1 day for Washington. Sad news for Washington, they still lost to Philly. That was it for Friday. Last Saturday, William and Wilson Contreras combined for 5 hits and 2 doubles in 1 game. Cubs won that one 6-3. Angels beat the Mariners 4-2 and 3-0 for their first doubleheader sweep since 2015. Ryan Zimmerman's jersey number is officially retired by Washington before losing to Philly 2-1 in 10 innings. And Dodgers unveiled Sandy Koufax statue before the Dodgers won 7-1 versus the Guardians. The Cardinals put up 6-run 6th versus the Red Sox, an 11-2 win, and then a 6-run third by Minnesota at Arizona, an 11-1 win. That's it for last Saturday. 2 days ago, Sunday, Jack Suwinski had a 3-homer game versus the San Francisco Giants, capped off by a walk-off solo home run to help them win over the Giants 4-3. Blue Jays came back from down 8-3 to beat the Yankees 10-9 thanks to Lourdes Gurriel Jr. grand slam and Teoscar Hernandez go-ahead 3-run homer. Gerard Encarnacion first major league hit in debut was a grand slam to help the Marlins beat the Mets. Mike Trout is the first player ever with 4 game-winning home runs in 1 series versus Seattle to help the Angels sweep the Mariners. And Buddy Kennedy with grand slam home run for his first major league hit in win versus the Minnesota Twins on Sunday. And then yesterday, Bly Madris with his first major league hit is a 2-run single and 12-1 win over the Cubs. He also, in general in the game, had a 3-hit game, 3 hits for the Pirates. And then O'Neal Cruz in his first game of 2022, not his major league debut, 2 hits, 2 runs, 4 RBIs, a 3-run double, and an RBI single in the Pirates blowout win 12-1 over the Cubs. Hello, Dustin. Welcome. Garrett Cole had a no-hitter through 7 innings, broken in the 8th on a Isaac Paredes single versus Tampa. Yankees were up 2-0 at that point. Tampa would come back to tie it, but then Yankees took the lead in the 9th. Thank you, Dustin. And the Yankees are also the first team to 50 wins in the MLB this year. Andrew Vaughn last night had a 4-hit game and 8-7 win versus the Blue Jays. And to this point, of the Mets' 21 series so far, they've won 16, lost 3, and split 2, which is a crazy stat. And that's it for MLB Weekly Recap in terms of specific notes that happened. Standings update in the AL East. First place is the Yankees, 15-17. At one point, they were on a 9-game win streak, ended on a 1-game losing win streak. Blue Jays are second place, 38-29 on 1-game losing streak. Third place is the Red Sox, 37-31 on a 2-game win streak, followed by the Tampa Bay Rays, 36-31 on a 2-game losing streak in fourth place, and in fifth place is the Orioles, 30-38 on a 1-game win streak. AL Central standings. Minnesota Twins first place, 38-30 on a 1-game losing streak, followed by in second place the Cleveland Guardians, 34-28. At one point, we're on a 5-game win streak. Now on a 1-game, ended on a 1-game win streak. Followed by the White Sox in third place, 32-33 on a 1-game win streak. Followed by the Tigers, 26-41 at one point on a 6-game losing streak, ended on a 1-game losing streak. And then in fifth place, the Royals, 24-42 ended on a 1-game win streak. And then the AL West standings update. Astros in first place, 41-25 on a 1-game win streak, followed by in second place, the Angels, 33-37 on a 1-game losing streak, followed by the Rangers in third place, 31-35 on a 2-game losing streak, followed by the fourth place Mariners, 29-39 on a 3-game losing streak, followed by the fifth place Athletics, 23-45 on a 1-game losing win streak. And that's it for the AL standings. NL standings. Mets are in first place, still 45-24 on a 1-game win streak, followed by the Braves, 39-29. As I said before, at one point they were on a 14-game winning streak, ended on a 2-game losing streak, followed by the Phillies in third place, 36-32. On one point, they were on a 5-game win streak, ended on a 1-game losing streak, followed by the Marlins in fourth place, 29-36 on 1-game losing streak, followed by the Nationals, 24-48. We're at 24-46. At one point, we're on an 8-game losing streak, ended the week on a 1-game win streak. NL Central standings. Brewers in first place, 39-30 on a 4-game losing streak, followed by the second place Cardinals, 38-31 on a 2-game losing streak. They're actually facing each other right now. Followed by the Pirates, 27-39 on a event. At one point, they were on a 9-game losing streak. Now they ended on a 2-game losing win streak. Followed by the 25-42 Cubs. At one point, as I said before, they were on a 10-game losing streak, ended on a 2-game losing streak. And then the Reds in fifth place, 23-43 on a 4-game losing streak. NL West, Dodgers, 40-25 in first place on a 1-game losing streak, followed by the Padres in second place, 42-27, who are at one point on a 4-game win streak, ended on a 1-game win streak, followed by the Giants, 37-29, at one point on a 5-game win streak, now on a 2-game losing streak, followed by the Diamondbacks in fourth place, 32-37, ended on a 1-game losing streak, and then the Rockies in fifth place, 30-37 on a 3-game win streak. And that is the standings update for baseball. Today's schedule for baseball. Just want to check one thing before I officially go over the schedule today. It's going to be Dodgers at Reds at 6:40 p.m. Tony Gonsolin going for the Dodgers. Tyler Mahle going for the Reds. Rockies at Marlins at 6:40 p.m. Ryan Feltner going for Colorado. Daniel Castano going for the Marlins. Cubs at Pirates at 7:05 p.m. Matt Swarmer going for the Cubs. Roansy Contreras going for the Pirates. Nationals at Orioles at 7:05 p.m. Eric Fetty going for the Nationals. Jordan Lyles going for the Orioles. Tigers at Red Sox at 7:10 p.m. Brale Brisky going for the Tigers. Rich Hill going for the Red Sox. Yankees at Rays at 7:10 p.m. Nestor Cortez Jr. going for the Yankees. Jalen Beeks going for the Rays. Giants at Braves at 7:20. Anthony DeSclafani going for San Francisco. Spencer Strider going for Atlanta. Cleveland at Minnesota at 7:40. Cleveland has not officially announced their starter as of the time of the recording of the podcast. Joe Ryan going for the Twins. Phillies at Rangers at 8:05. Kyle Gibson going for Philly. Martin Perez going for Texas. Mets at Astros at 8:10. Trevor Williams going for New York. Jose Urquidy going for Houston. Blue Jays at White Sox is 8:10. Kevin Gausman going for the Blue Jays. Dylan Cease going for the White Sox. Cardinals at Brewers at 8:10. Jack Flaherty going for St. Louis. Aaron Ashby going for Milwaukee. Royals at Angels at 9:38 p.m. Jonathan Heasley going for Kansas City. Reed Detmers going for the Angels. Diamondbacks at Padres at 9:40. Zach Allen going for the Diamondbacks. Sean Manaea going for San Diego. And then Mariners at Oakland at 9:40 p.m. Miguel Gonzalez going for Seattle. James Prillian going for Oakland. And that is the MLB. And that is today's schedule for MLB. And that is this week's episode of the podcast. So let's wrap things up. Thank you so much for coming back for this week's episode of the podcast. On next week's episode, we'll have MLB Weekly Recap. We'll have NBA Draft to talk about. If there's any NFL news that pops up, we'll have that to talk about. Thank you so much for watching. If you are new, subscribe down below and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I go live or post a video. Or if you're listening via audio, follow the podcast on audio and leave a notification bell so you're notified when I post on there as well. And leave a review. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. Bye.